Hey, what's up? This is the Political Brown Kid, and I'm back with another Hollywood in black and white. And this time I'm reaching back in time and looking at Boomerang, starring Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, David Allen Greer, Halle Berry, Robin Givens. And before I get into the clip, I'm going to play this piece that I actually found online. And that's also the other beautiful thing about the internet. I know we talk a lot of negative about the internet, but the one good thing that you could say about the internet is that they're posting any and everything that was done, whether it was a picture, whether it was a movie or something on video. They're reaching way back in time and posting a lot of good content for people to historically reference. Malcolm X interviews, so forth. You can go back in time and check a lot of things out. So right now, I'm going to play this clip, and I'm going to come back and discuss it because it's going to summarize everything that I'm going to say. So let's check out this clip with Eddie Murphy on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
The coolest thing about Boomerang and the most political thing about Boomerang is that it's a movie with all black cast, and it has nothing to do with being black or nothing.
So when you say, like I'm reading this from the LA Times. This review, it says the most intriguing aspect of Boomerang turns out not its story but its racial composition. It says this takes pains to create a reverse world from which white people are invisible.
Now, oh yeah, this cat in the LA Times was tripping because there were white people in the movie, but there were no white leads in it. And you take a picture like Boys in the Hood. No one tripped about that because it was, a movie that dealt with like a violent thing, but
right.
Regular thing, and it was business. Or we're the white people. Who's running that office? So when you get that type of criticism, you can't really trip on it. If someone's reviewing a movie and they're tripping on me, personally, I don't even.
Well, it's a cultural bias. It's the type of thing where people say they're not used to seeing black artists in these roles, so it seems odd to them. But I would say,
well, you better get used to it, because I ain't going no place. I ain't going no place.
And this is pretty much going to summarize my entire take on Hollywood in black and white for the movie Boomerang. Eddie Murphy is exactly right. This movie shows it has a lot of components to it. Now, although it doesn't really show the nuclear family, it does, but it really doesn't. It does and it doesn't. That's what I'm going to kind of say. The one thing that I can say that Eddie Murphy did in this movie is this. He showed a movie, because typically when people create a quote-unquote black movie, it always has a racial element to it. Like when you see movies such as, let me just try to figure it out for quick example. One other movie that kind of did it, it's a relatively newer movie, was The Harder They Fall, which has Idris Elba, Regina King, Lakeith in it, which I thought was actually a great movie. That movie really doesn't it really doesn't have anything to do with whiteness until they go to this one white town to rob a bank. But the whole movie is just pretty much, it's nothing about race, nothing about a black struggle. It's just a movie about, good versus evil. Jonathan Majors being the good character, facing off against, I think that was Jonathan Majors, right? Yeah, Jonathan Majors facing off against Idris, who plays the antagonist. But there's really no racial composition to that one either. But when you watch the movie Boomerang is strictly about, it doesn't have anything to do with a black man being denied a job, a black man facing opposition from a white man, a black woman facing opposition from white society. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It is just purely black people going to work, being business professionals, falling in love on the job, facing relationship complications, and then, love conquering all in the end. And there's nothing to do with race. There's not one time where black people mention a white person or mention how a white man is treating them. It's just purely us living. And in that movie, when Eddie Murphy playing Marcus Graham, you just see him living a great life. He has a nice apartment. He has, he's in New York City. Of course, it's hustle and bustle. Robin Givens is playing an executive. He's playing an executive. You have Eartha Kitt, who's there. She provides a nice comic relief to the movie. You have beautiful women of all shades. You have Leela Rashawn. You have Robin Givens. You have Halle Berry, and I don't know how Eddie Murphy can lose in any of those scenarios. Um, you have, like, once again, you have a comic relief. Also, Grace Jones does a great job in the movie as well. You do see the nuclear family in this from the perspective of when they have Thanksgiving dinner and John Witherspoon shows up with his wife. John Witherspoon and his wife, and I forgot the lady's name, and I should have looked this up before I did this video, so I do apologize. But if you reach back in time, if you're familiar with the show Good Times, she actually played Sweet Daddy's girlfriend in the show, and that's when JJ paints the picture for Sweet Daddy of his girlfriend, and she comes in and she doesn't like the picture. Actually, that's an outstanding episode of Good Times, so go and check that out. She's played in a lot of other things, so I forget her name, and I do apologize for that. But she plays John Witherspoon's wife, and they both play David Allen Greer's parents. So you can kind of see, yeah, that's a nuclear family. They're two older individuals though, but they do show that these black parents have stayed together and all of these years. And so that's the composition that I'm kind of talking. And then also too, they're successful. No one's struggling. There's no struggle in the movie. You don't have anything to do with drugs or anything to do with violence. It is just a wonderful comedy love story that is being told, and that's the stuff that I like to see. Listen, white people make movies all the time. I pointed to y'all, like when you look at movies like, you look at a lot of white movies, there's really no black characters in it. Even to this day, when you look into 2024, white people can do movies all day long and they may add a black character, but that black character is mostly playing like a supportive background role. He might as well not even be in the movie at all. And they have that liberty and freedom to create these great shows. So I'm just wondering why black people continue to want to try and have diversity, equity, and inclusion in our films instead of just uplifting us. And this is the one thing about Boomerang that I really do appreciate, and I think we need to get back to doing that. Listen, black people, we're not obligated to do diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's the other people. We need to start doing movies showing that there are black societies and black worlds that don't even pay attention and aren't affected by what white people are doing in society. And I think Boomerang is a prime example of that. So this is just my take on Hollywood in black and white for the movie Boomerang. Once again, and also too, just to kind of talk about, I didn't talk about this, I'll sum it up real quickly too. It's also a love, the love story about it is, it does show his flaw, of him, straying from a relationship and being conflicted between two women. But in the end, spoiler alert here, love does conquer all. So you have that love element and that hopefully, they kind of give you that hope that this will be a loving, monogamous black relationship moving forward. So this has just been my take, Hollywood black and white, on Boomerang. If you have any comments on this Boomerang movie that maybe I have missed some element, please drop it in the comment section, but also hit the like and subscribe button. So once again, this is the Political Brown Kid. I'm out of here.